Alma here. I'm hoping that you've watched my last few videos about fractions and that you were able to practice all of these new skills that we've been learning about fractions. Um, the more that we practice, the better that we get at this. So today we're just going to do some more practice in this video. So over here on my left side where my arrow is pointing, I have all my shapes and the parts and how much are shaded in. Now it's up to me. I have to fill out or circle the correct option to say how many parts are shaded, the correct fraction form, the number form. So let's begin with number 1. Now for number 1, I have 2 equal parts. So I have 4 options and I need to choose the right one. So let's start off first by just doing a quick recap. So when we're given a number or fraction, our top number, our numerator, tells us how many parts are shaded. Our bottom number, our denominator, tells us the total number of parts there are. So we need to be able to remember that to be able to complete this activity correctly. So let's dive in. Now in this circle, 1 part is shaded in pink. So I know that my top number has to be 1. So I know I can cross this out and this out. Now my bottom number, my denominator, tells me how many total parts there are. Now in this circle, there's 2. So I know I can cross this out, and my correct answer would be 1/2 or 1/2. Now for my next one, I'm going to label my parts first so I know that there's 4 equal parts. Now I could see that only 1 is shaded in blue. So I know I can get rid of this right away. So 1 is shaded in blue. Okay. Now my bottom number, my denominator, tells me the total number of parts there are. And in this circle, there's 4. So I know I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. My correct answer would be this. 1/4 is shaded in blue, or 1/4 is shaded in blue. Going on to my next one. This circle is divided up into 3 equal parts. Now let's see, my top number, my numerator, tells me how many parts are shaded. So I can see there's only 1 shaded in green, so I can cross this off right away and this off right away. Now my bottom number tells me the total number of parts there are, my denominator. And in this circle, there's 3. So I can get rid of this, and I know my answer will be 1/3 or 1/3. So that's why you have to be very, very careful when looking at your top and bottom numbers, because you don't want to confuse them to get your answer wrong. We have to be very careful. Let's move on to this one. So we have 4 equal parts. Okay, now I see that 3 of them. Remember, my top number, my numerator, tells me how many parts are shaded. In this circle, I could see that 3 are shaded in orange. So I can get rid of this because there's a 2 at the top. I can get rid of this because there's a 1 at the top, and this, there's a 1 at the top. And I'm left with this. There's 3 parts shaded in orange. Okay. Now my bottom number, my denominator, tells me how many parts there are in total. And in this circle, there are 4 parts. So this is definitely correct because 3/4 are shaded in orange, or 3/4 are shaded in orange. And then lastly, over here, this circle is divided up into 3 parts. Now, our top number, our numerator, tells us how many parts are shaded in. And as you can see in this one, 2 are shaded in purple. So I can get rid of this right away because that has a 1 at the top, and I can get rid of this right away because that has a 3 at the top. I need something that has 2 at the top. Now my bottom number, my denominator, tells me how many parts there are in total. So in total, this circle has 3 equal parts. That's why I feel like writing the numbers to represent the parts in the shape is really helpful because it kind of gives it away. I have 1, 2, 3. So I know that there's only 3 equal parts. So my answer then would be this, and I can cross this off. So I would read this as 2 out of 3 are shaded in purple, or 2/3 are shaded in purple. So let's just do a quick one that I'll just make up right now. So if I'm given this fraction, 3/4, now here's my circle and I have to shade it in. Okay, so first I need to see how many total parts there are. And which number tells me how many total parts there are? Well, that would be my denominator, my bottom number. So I know that there's 4 equal parts. So I'll just divide this circle into 4 equal parts. I like to label mine. Now my top number tells me how many parts have to be shaded in, and this says 3. So I would shade in 1, 2, and 3. Now that's how I would do that. Now, on the other hand, if I'm given, let's say, a square, and it's shaded in, now I have to write a fraction for this square. So first, I want to label my parts. I have 1, 2. Now, my top number tells me how many parts are shaded. So in this square, there's only 1 that's shaded in yellow. And my bottom number tells me the total parts there are, which is 2. So I would write that as 1/2, or 1/2. I'm hoping that this was just an introduction to being able to practice these new skills that we've been learning about fractions, and you'll be receiving some work that you'll be able to use what you're learning from these videos to being able to practice it by yourselves. And just remember that being able to practice more helps us to become better at this. This is a new topic, and the more we practice, the more familiar this will become for us. So just the main thing just to remember is your top number, your numerator, tells you how many parts have to be shaded, and your bottom number, your denominator, tells you how many parts there are in total. And if you remember that, then you'll be able to complete this, and just being able to practice it more will help you to become even more familiar with this new topic that we've been learning about.